Hello, I'm Christian from the Communities team at the National Football Museum. In this edition of First 11, we'll be taking you through 11 museum objects related to social cultural influences in football. Linked to our school session, Football in the Modern World, we'll be covering commercialisation, media, sponsorship, as well as player and spectator conduct. Kicking off with player sponsorship, our first object is this Frido football advert featuring Stanley Matthews. Matthews is considered by many to be football's first superstar, and he was one of the first players to benefit from endorsement deals. Despite Matthews' fame, it will be years until the huge commercial deals we see with top players today. Shirt sponsorship in football is also a great example of increased commercialisation. This rare 1973 Eintracht Braunschweig shirt was the first to feature a sponsor. The sponsor, Jägermeister, even wanted to rename the team, something that a popular soft drink controversially did more recently. Sponsorship in the media also has the power to grow and publicise a sport. Object number 3 is a copy of Time magazine featuring the '99 World Cup winning US women's team. The US captured the hearts of a nation when they won the World Cup on home soil, generating huge attendances, merchandise and media coverage. This inevitably increased participation in the sport, something that is equally reflected here in the UK following increased interest in England's Lionesses over the past decade. Again, our fourth object represents the relationship between football and the media. Presenter Jim White's famous yellow tie means only one thing for football fans: transfer deadline day. The rise in 24-hour news channels has led to similar coverage in football, and transfer gossip, whether reliable or not, occupies hours of viewing time. Object number 5 looks at the negative impact of the media. A copy of the Sun newspaper following England's exit from the 1998 World Cup. The newspaper irresponsibly printed this image of a lynched figure in a Beckham shirt after a sending off against Argentina. Beckham would later be branded the most hated man in England, with this media response clearly playing a role. The same football rivalry is where we find our next object: Diego Maradona's match-worn shirt from Argentina's infamous 1986 World Cup quarter-final against England. Our Diego's hand of God would be seen by many as blatant cheating, but by others as gamesmanship. Sticking with player etiquette, object number 7 features an icon almost as divisive as our Diego. Art of the Game by Michael Brown is on display on the museum's match gallery, with Eric Cantona front and centre. A pastiche of 2 Renaissance paintings, the artist was inspired by Cantona's return to football, following his 9-month ban for kung fu kicking a fan at Selhurst Park. The artwork also features United manager Alex Ferguson, the Neville brothers, a young David Beckham, Nicky Butt, and fellow academy graduate John Curtis. A player equally revered by Manchester United fans is George Best, and our 8th object is a shirt from his testimonial in 1988. One of the greatest players ever, Best's career is also a cautionary tale of the impact media, sponsorship and fame can have. Nicknamed El Beetle by the Portuguese press, Best became one of the first celebrity footballers and was as well known for his partying off the pitch as his talent on it. Our 9th object is a West Brom training top worn by pioneering footballer Cyrille Regis, who was inducted into the museum's Hall of Fame in 2019. Regis was an inspiration to a generation of black players. He suffered horrendous racial abuse from the terraces, but spoke about using this as extra motivation to channel into his performances. Outside of football, Regis was committed to community and charity work, and this continues with the Cyrille Regis Legacy Trust. The museum has hundreds of objects related to fans and fan culture on display, but a more positive element of spectator behaviour is generating an atmosphere, and Object 10 would certainly contribute to this. A popular donation to the museum are these football rattles, common at matches until the late 1970s, and clearly very loud. Sticking with fans, our final object is this Canal Street Blues shirt. The Canal Street Blues are just one of many official LGBT+ supporters groups across the UK. Organisations like Pride in Football, Football vs Homophobia and Stonewall all promote visibility of clubs' LGBT fan bases and contribute to a more inclusive sport. The museum stands with these organisations and has a responsibility to represent the diversity of football's fan base and challenge discrimination and prejudice of any kind in the sport. So that's our 11 museum objects on social cultural influences in football. But what objects and stories would you include? Let us know in the comments. Find these and thousands of other objects on our online collection at nationalfootballmuseum.com. Thanks for watching. Please drop this video a like and subscribe for more football history content.